Hello, grade 9s. This is a super summary on factorizing the difference of two squares and factorizing quadratic trinomials. Don't worry about these words. It's more important to understand what is going on underneath and how these things work than it is to worry about what these words mean. We have first the difference of two squares. This is used when you have two terms that are perfect squares and they are separated by a minus sign. Don't go separating the minus and the number. We read from left to right. For example, this is the pattern. We have a squared, b squared separated by a minus. And what are we going to do when we see something squared minus something squared? We're going to put down our brackets, put down a minus, put down a plus, and then find the square root of the first term, a squared, and the square root of the second term, b squared, and we put a in the front and b at the back of the brackets. How are we going to approach this? We ask ourselves, do we have two terms only? Is there a minus sign between the two terms? Is the first term and the second term a perfect square? If the answer to all of these is yes, then you have the difference of two squares, minus difference. For example, we have to factorize 9x to the power of 4 minus 25y squared. Do we have two terms? Yes. Is there a minus sign between them? Yes. Is 9x to the power of 4 a perfect square? Yes. If we squared 3, we got 9, and if we square x squared, we're going to get x to the power of 4. That is what we are referring to here as the a at the front of the bracket that we're going to put it. Is 25y squared a perfect square? Yes, because 5 times 5 is 25 and y times y is y squared. That is this b up here. And so we apply the rule, we put down our brackets, we put down a minus, we put down a plus, we say what times what gave us the first term. 3 times 3 gave us 9, x squared times x squared gave us x to the 4. And then we say what times itself gave us 25y squared. 5 times 5 gave us 25, and y times y gave us y squared. Alright, that was the difference of two squares. Now we're going to factorize quadratic trinomials. What is a quadratic trinomial? It's when we have x squared plus or minus something times x plus or minus something without an x. And x can be any other letters, but it's not going to be x squared plus something times y plus z. They're all going to be the same letter. The x squared, the a squared, times something times x or a, plus something without x or a, or whatever the variable is. What is a quadratic trinomial? Tri means 3, like tricycle. Quad means square. So we've got that x squared, we've got 3 terms, and it typically starts with an x squared, but like I said, it can be y squared, a squared, and then a p squared. And to factorize these, we need to find two numbers that, if we times those numbers together, we get the number at the end, c. And if we add those same two numbers together that multiply to give us c, it's going to add up to the number in the middle. Yeah, and we always need to remember to look for our highest common factor first. For example, we have a squared minus 5a minus 14. Is there a highest common factor? No. Now, we need to ask ourselves, what times what gave us minus 14? And those same two numbers, when we add them together, gives us the number in the middle. Now we must be careful now because we have a minus here, and the only way we can multiply two numbers to get a minus is if one of them is positive and one of them is negative. And that helps us figure out this over here too. Because if we multiply a positive and a negative together and we add them together and we get a negative, that means the bigger number that we multiplied is the negative number. Okay, and so we say, well, what times what gave us minus 14? 1 times minus 14 is minus 14, but when we add them together we get minus 13, so it's not that one. And you keep trying these different factors, and you must remember that even though we tried 1 and 14 here, we need to try 1 and 14 again, but we need to give them different signs. Don't just stop after you've tried 1 and 14. You need to try them with both signs. Why? Well, because look, here is the one that we're looking for, 2 and minus 7, because they add up to the number in the middle. But if you tried 2 and minus 2 and 7 and you got 5 and you gave up, it would be very difficult then to finish the question. So this is just to let you know that even though we've got 2 and 7 here, you wouldn't stop after you tried minus 2 and 7. You tried 2 and 7 and change their signs to 2 and minus 7. Okay, then we write these numbers in our brackets, positive 2 and negative 7, and we know that a times a gave us a squared. Okay, we can always check by multiplying the first and the first together. It gives us a squared. Outer, we use FOIL. A times minus 7 is minus 7a. Inner, a times positive 2 is positive 2a. Minus 7a plus 2a gives us minus 5a. And then last times last, positive 2 times negative 7 gives us minus 14. Okay, and that's what we just did here. We checked to make sure we got 100% before we move on to the next question. I hope that was helpful.